The year is 1453, a year that will forever change the course of history. The Byzantine Empire, once powerful and unyielding, is on the brink of collapse. The city of Constantinople, the empire's capital and symbol of Christian civilization, becomes the center of one of the most important battles in history. This is not just the story of a military siege, it's a tale of the fall of an empire, a clash of civilizations, and the birth of a new world order. In this episode, we will explore how the fall of Constantinople marked the end of the medieval era and the beginning of a new one. When Mehmed II became the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire in 1451, he had a clear vision. His dream was to conquer Constantinople, a city that had resisted numerous conquerors for 1,000 years. Mehmed was young, only 21 years old, but he was determined and incredibly ambitious. He saw Constantinople not just as a strategic target but as a symbol of prestige, a key to conquering Europe and establishing his dominance. The Sultan knew that without Constantinople, the Ottoman Empire could not be a complete power, but the Byzantine Empire was in deep crisis. After centuries of wars, territorial losses, and internal strife, Byzantium was only a shadow of its former glory. Constantinople, once the center of the world, was now surrounded by enemies, and its population had drastically declined. It's estimated that the city had only around 50,000 inhabitants at that time, compared to over 500,000 in its zenith. The last Byzantine emperor, Constantine XI Palaiologos, was aware that the greatest challenge in his empire's history was upon him. In his final months of rule, Constantine sought help from the Western European powers, but his pleas mostly went unanswered. Europe, divided by internal conflicts, showed little interest in saving Byzantium. However, Emperor Constantine XI had no intention of surrendering the city without a fight. He believed in the legend that had circulated for centuries, that the Byzantine Empire would fall only when the last emperor died on the city's walls. Mehmed II, on the other hand, was convinced that he would be the conqueror who would finally bring those walls down and fulfill the Ottoman centuries-old dream. The siege of Constantinople began on April 6, 1453. Mehmed gathered an army of between 80,000 and 100,000 soldiers, including elite janissaries, while Byzantium could muster only about 7,000 defenders. Mehmed's greatest advantage was his artillery, specially designed cannons, a technological marvel of the time, created by European engineers, particularly a Hungarian expert named Urban. Urban built enormous cannons, capable of firing balls weighing over 500 kilograms, and the largest of them, known as the Great Cannon, was crucial in the attacks on the Theodosian walls, the city's main defensive structures, which had stood for over 1,000 years. These cannons slowly but surely began to breach the city's walls, which had withstood enemies for centuries. Mehmed didn't just attack from land. His strategy included a naval blockade, but the city had a natural advantage: the Golden Horn, a bay that protected the northeastern approach to the city by sea. The Byzantines placed a massive chain across the Golden Horn to prevent Ottoman ships from entering. But Mehmed performed an astonishing military feat. He transported his ships overland. Using wooden platforms and rollers, the Ottomans bypassed the chain and introduced their ships directly into the Golden Horn, catching the Byzantines by complete surprise. The city's defenders put up a resistance, but they were exhausted. Days passed, and the walls continued to crumble under the Ottoman cannons. The kingdoms of Europe, though aware of the threat, did not send significant help. Pope Nicholas V attempted to organize a crusade, but due to political disagreements among European rulers, assistance never arrived. On the night of May 28, Mehmed II decided to launch the final assault. Ottoman forces attacked from all sides, using ladders, cannons, and every weapon at their disposal. The defenders, exhausted after weeks of fighting, fought to their last breath. Constantine XI, the last Byzantine emperor, refused to abandon his city. Legend has it that he removed his imperial regalia and fought alongside his soldiers, dying as one of them. In the early hours of May 29, 1453, the Ottomans broke through the walls. Constantinople fell. Mehmed II entered the city as the victor, but instead of destroying it, he immediately declared that Constantinople would become the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The city was renamed Istanbul, and Hagia Sophia, once a symbol of Christianity, was converted into a mosque. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, but also the end of the Middle Ages. With this event, the Ottomans became the dominant force in the Balkans and the Middle East, and Europe entered a new phase of its history. Mehmed II became known as Mehmed the Conqueror, and Istanbul became the center of a powerful Ottoman Empire that would rule for the next several centuries. Though the city fell, its history lives on. Constantinople was more than just a city. It was a symbol of a civilization that had endured for 1,000 years. Its fall marked the end of one era, but also the beginning of another, an era in which Ottomans and Europeans would struggle for dominance in the world. Thank you for watching this episode on Nexus. If you want to learn more about key moments in history, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and explore the incredible stories that have shaped our world. See you in the next episode.